We were just talking
We
about
literally were
that.
just talking about this.
I was gonna ask you if you think somebody should get more targets.
I'm never gonna let this up.
We exhausted that bit.
Oh, I was dying.
Speaking of guys who get a lot of targets, though, Matt, the Panthers receiver McNulty gets a lot. What have you seen?
Yeah, he's a baller. He is a really good football player. We knew that he was probably going to be a really good football player coming out of the draft. Just, the one thing that you really like about him is his ability to run through a ball. And, like, when he gets it in his hands, you can see the mindset is to go score. And so, he's really developing and, going to be a really good player for a long time.
And how did Brandon kick yesterday? And what are you gonna do with Lucas? And can you keep 2 kickers for a while just in case?
I just let Goody handle that. But yeah, McManus kicked yesterday and he looked good. So I didn't ask him how he felt. I don't talk to kickers, so but I would assume that he felt okay.
Carolina's run D gave up a lot of yards last week, but the previous 3 weeks didn't give them much at all. What's the challenge with that group that you get this week?
Yeah, I mean, they do a good job of getting. First of all, they're big and physical and strong up front. So you got to do a great job. That's where it always starts. But I think they do a good job of committing to the run, and I'm sure that'll be a point of emphasis. I would think going into this game, just seeing what Buffalo was able to accomplish. And if it's hard if you don't stop the run, then you're really giving an offense. I mean, you got to stop both now. So I think Ijiro's done a pretty good job in his past. So I'm sure they're going to be working hard at that.
Matt, with your quarterback and his confidence, obviously arm talent's important. You talked about you have to be willing to stand in there. In terms of fostering confidence, is that something a guy has in himself that he can make any throw, or is that something that a coach can bring out over time? What has been your experience?
To stand in there?
No. To make any throw, like the one he made to Watson. The one you said no, yes, but like, does every NFL quarterback have that in him? Do coaches bring that out? How does that?
I don't know if coaches bring that out of anybody. I mean, you got to have a certain level of talent to be able to do it. Just because I don't think I've ever brought that out of somebody. That's all them. And typically, if a guy can't make that throw, you tend to try to stay away from that guy. So I just think he's doing an excellent job. He's playing with a lot of confidence, and I think that's pretty evident. And like I said, I think he's played really good football the majority of the season.
Matt, Micah got NFC Defensive Player of the Month a few minutes ago. Just what have you thought? Obviously,
I thought you were breaking news.
No. Obviously, you knew the type of football player you were getting when he got here, but just this start he's been off to.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. All those guys are kind of feeding off one another. Certainly, he gets a lot of attention in regards to protections, and a lot of times he's defeating a chip, and then they might even slide to him. So, which opens up opportunities for everybody else. But I do think Half's done a really good job in DC of trying to get creative in terms of, you've seen him rush inside, outside. So it does put a little bit of a stress on the offense in regards to you're not quite sure where he's going to align. So it adds some layers to that. But you can't do that if you don't have confidence in the other guys to be able to win their one-on-ones. And I think, all those guys have been doing a great job. RG, Devontae Wyatt, KB, Colby, JJ, Van Ness. We feel pretty confident that we got a lot of good players in there that can all play off one another. And I think the other thing that we've been doing a decent job of is when called, our linebackers are doing a good job of rushing the quarterback as well.
Man, Zach Tom, he obviously had a tough assignment this past weekend. What are your thoughts on just how he has performed over these past few games?
Yeah, I think Zach, as he's gotten healthier, has performed better, which is probably to be expected. So Zach is a consistent, reliable force for us. It's the reason why we extended him and paid him. And, I'm happy with his play.
Nate Hobbs told us the other day that focus is a big thing that not just he has to improve on, but he feels like he has to bring to 100% of the snaps. I know that you and Jeff kind of gave your vote of confidence saying he's the type of player that can bounce back. How have you seen, at least over the past week, with the snap count over the weekend, that he has taken that role of, okay, I'm going to continue to get better and not worry about how many snaps I'm going to get?
I mean, you don't have much choice. I'd say we have only had one practice, and yesterday was primarily a jog through, but I just think there's a reason we went out and got a guy like that. He's demonstrated it before, and we fully expect that he'll do it again. So, yeah, I think that's the key for all these players. No matter what position you play, who you are, is can you do it consistently down in and down out? And it's easier said than done in this league because you're going up against a lot of great players. And I think the one thing that makes corners so special is, I mean, you can play, if there's 65 snaps in a game, you can play 62 great snaps, and people can talk about the 3 plays where you got beat or whatever it is. So you got to have a short memory. You got to be able to, no matter what happened on a previous play, move on to the next play. And that's the mentality that we want not only those guys at that position, but everybody on our team to have.
How have you thought Aaron Banks has settled in after, obviously he missed a lot of training camp in the start of the season?
Same thing. I think he's gotten healthier. He's performed better. And I would say that, the past 2 games he's done pretty well.
That's good.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt.